Did you know that every single millionaire in history followed the same exact formula? A formula so powerful that it took 25 years of research and interviews with over 500 wealthy individuals to crack the code. Welcome to the CEO's Bookshelf, where ambitious leaders discover the books that separate the successful from the extraordinary. Today, we're diving into the most life-changing book ever written about wealth creation. In 1937, Napoleon Hill published Think and Grow Rich. Not just another self-help book, but a scientific approach to wealth building. This wasn't theory or wishful thinking. This is the result of 25 years of research, studying over 500 of America's wealthiest individuals, including Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and Thomas Edison. Hill discovered something incredible. There's a secret formula that all wealthy people use, and he broke it down into 13 proven steps. Today, we're covering the first 7 steps that will transform how you think about money, success, and what's truly possible for your life. Step 1. Desire. The first step isn't what you think. It's not work hard or get lucky. It's desire, but not the kind of desire you're thinking of. Hill discovered that every fortune begins with what he calls a burning desire, an obsession so intense that it consumes your thoughts and drives every decision you make. You know that feeling when you want something so badly that you can taste it, when you lie awake at night thinking about it. That's the level of desire we're talking about. This isn't, I wish I had more money. This is, I must have financial freedom and I'll do whatever it takes. Let me tell you about Edwin Barnes. This guy had zero money, no connections, and no special skills. But he had one thing, a burning desire to become Thomas Edison's business partner. Not just work for Edison, but work with him. Barnes showed up at Edison's lab looking like a tramp. Edison's team laughed at him, but Barnes had something they didn't, that burning desire. He took any job Edison offered, even menial tasks, and waited. For 5 years, he waited and learned and prepared. Then one day, Edison invented a dictating machine but couldn't sell it. Barnes saw his opportunity. His burning desire had prepared him for this moment. He became Edison's exclusive distributor and made millions. This isn't positive thinking fluff. This is programming your subconscious mind for success. Your desire must be so clear, so specific, that your mind has no choice but to find ways to make it happen. Here's your practical action plan, and this is crucial. Write down the exact amount of money you want. Don't write, I want to be rich. Write, I want exactly $100,000 or whatever your number is. Set a specific deadline by December 31st, 2025. Then determine exactly what you're going to give in return for this money. Your service, your product, your expertise. Read this statement out loud twice daily, once when you wake up and once before bed. But here's the key. As you read it, feel like you already have that money. See it in your bank account. Feel the confidence it gives you. This emotional connection is what transforms a wish into a burning desire. Step 2 is faith. And Hill calls it the head chemist of the mind. But this isn't religious faith. This is the absolute certainty that your desire will become reality. Think about this. Every successful entrepreneur I know has one thing in common. They act as if their success is inevitable. They don't hope it will happen. They know it will happen. That's faith in action. Napoleon Hill's own son was born without normal hearing. Doctors said he'd never hear or speak. But Hill had faith, not hope, faith, that his son would overcome this challenge. Every day, Hill talked to his son as if he could hear perfectly. He told him stories, played music, and never treated him as disabled. Hill's faith became his son's faith. The doctors thought Hill was crazy. His family thought he was in denial, but Hill continued this ritual for years, programming his son's subconscious mind with faith-filled affirmations. Here's what happened. His son not only learned to hear and speak, but he became incredibly successful in the hearing aid industry. He turned his handicap into his greatest asset, helping other people with hearing challenges. That's the power of faith in action. But here's the scientific part. Faith works because it programs your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is like a supercomputer that's working 24/7. When you feed it thoughts mixed with absolute faith, it starts finding ways to make those thoughts reality. Here's how to develop unshakable faith. Take that written statement of your financial goal and read it with absolute conviction. Don't just read the words. Feel the truth of them. When doubts creep in, and they will, immediately replace them with faith-filled affirmations. Faith isn't blind optimism. It's the deep knowing that when you follow the right principles with unwavering belief, success is not just possible, it's inevitable. Step 3. Autosuggestion. This is the bridge between your conscious and subconscious mind, and it's how you program yourself for success. Your subconscious mind is like a fertile garden. It will grow whatever seeds you plant, positive or negative. Most people plant weeds without realizing it. They think about what they don't want, and guess what? That's exactly what they get. Here's your step-by-step autosuggestion process. Remember that written statement from the Desire chapter. When you read your written statement twice daily, you're not just reading, you're programming. You go to a quiet place, close your eyes, and repeat your exact financial goal out loud. But here's the crucial part. As you speak, you must see yourself already in possession of that money. Feel the emotions, experience the reality. Hill discovered that successful people do this naturally. Henry Ford visualized his automobiles before they existed. Edison saw his inventions in his mind first. They were using autosuggestion without knowing it. But here's the danger. If you don't consciously program your subconscious with positive thoughts, it will be programmed by negative ones. Fear, doubt, and worry will become your default programming. The beautiful thing is, you have complete control over what reaches your subconscious mind. Through autosuggestion, you can choose your thoughts, your beliefs, and ultimately, your reality. Start tonight. Write down your definite financial goal and read it with emotion and visualization. Your subconscious mind is waiting for your instructions. Give it clear, positive commands, and watch your external world transform. Step 4. Specialized knowledge. But here's the twist. It's not about being the smartest person in the room. Napoleon Hill said, "General knowledge, no matter how great in quantity or variety, is of but little use in the accumulation of money." Think about it. University professors have tons of knowledge, but most aren't wealthy. Knowledge only becomes power when it's organized and directed toward a specific goal. It's not what you know, it's how you use what you know. Henry Ford had very little formal education. Ford had barely a 6th grade education. He couldn't spell many words correctly, and he knew almost nothing about history, literature, or science. By traditional standards, he was uneducated. During a lawsuit, lawyers tried to make him look stupid by asking complex questions. Ford finally said, "I don't know the answers to your questions, but I can find a man in 5 minutes who does." That's the secret. Ford didn't clutter his mind with information he didn't need. Instead, he knew where to get specialized knowledge when he needed it. Ford surrounded himself with specialists, engineers, accountants, marketers, lawyers, each one an expert in their field, and focused on the big picture. Here's your action plan. First, identify the specialized knowledge you need for your specific goal. Then, find the best sources, industry experts you can hire or partner with, specialized courses or training, books and resources from practitioners, not just theorists, mastermind groups with complementary skills. In today's world, this is more important than ever. Technology changes so fast that yesterday's knowledge becomes obsolete. But the ability to quickly acquire and apply specialized knowledge, that's a skill that pays forever. Stop trying to know everything. Start organizing the knowledge you need. Your job isn't to be the expert in everything. It's to be the expert in putting the right experts together. Step 5. Imagination. The workshop of the mind where all human plans are fashioned. Hill says, "Man can create anything which he can imagine." Everything you see around started in someone's imagination. There are 2 types of imagination, synthetic and creative. Synthetic imagination rearranges old ideas into new combinations, like combining a phone with a camera to create a smartphone. Creative imagination is the direct line to infinite intelligence, where truly revolutionary ideas come from. Charles Schwab was walking through Pittsburgh, looking at all the small steel companies competing against each other. Then he had an idea. What if all these companies merged into one giant corporation? Then he took that idea to JP Morgan, and Morgan was intrigued. That single idea, born in Schwab's imagination, became the United States Steel Corporation, the first billion-dollar company in history. Think about today's billionaires. Jeff Bezos imagined selling everything online when most people barely knew what the internet was. Elon Musk imagined electric cars when everyone said it was impossible. Their imaginations literally created new realities, but imagination without action is just daydreaming. The key is taking your imaginative ideas and combining them with the other steps. Desire, faith, specialized knowledge, and organized planning. Your imagination is your direct connection to infinite possibilities. The question isn't whether you can imagine success, It's whether you're brave enough to act on what you imagine. Step 6. Organized planning. Dreams without plans are just fantasies, but dreams with plans become goals, and goals with deadlines become reality. You can have the strongest desire, unshakable faith, and brilliant imagination, but without organized planning, you'll never achieve lasting wealth. Plans are what transform mental energy into physical results. Let me tell you about Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men in American history. Carnegie knew very little about making steel. He couldn't operate the machinery, didn't understand the chemistry, and wasn't a technical expert. So how did he dominate the steel industry? Carnegie's genius was organized planning. He created what he called a mastermind group, a team of specialists who each knew their field perfectly. He had metallurgists who understood steel, engineers who designed the plants, accountants who managed the money, and salespeople who found customers. Carnegie's role was to coordinate all these experts toward one definite purpose: building the most efficient steel company in the world. His organized planning made him worth over $300 billion in today's money. Most people think planning means having every detail figured out from the start. Wrong. Effective planning means having a clear direction and the flexibility to adapt when circumstances change. Your first plan will probably fail. That's not defeat. That's feedback. Every successful entrepreneur has had multiple failed plans. The key is to create a new plan quickly and keep moving forward. Hill is adamant. No individual has sufficient experience, education, and knowledge to accumulate great fortune without the cooperation of others. Here's your step-by-step planning process. First, write down your definite major purpose, your specific financial goal with a deadline. Second, identify what specialized knowledge you need to achieve this goal. Third, determine who you need in your mastermind group to complement your weaknesses. Fourth, create a detailed plan with specific action steps. Don't just write "start a business." Write "research my target market for 2 weeks, create a business plan by month end, secure $50,000 in funding by March 1st. Make it specific and actionable. Fifth, set up regular meetings with your mastermind group. Maintain perfect harmony. Any conflict destroys the mastermind's power. Remember, planning is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. Review and revise your plans regularly. What worked last month might not work this month. Stay flexible, but keep moving toward your definite purpose. Step 7. Decision. This is where winners separate from losers, where dreams become reality or die in the graveyard of indecision. After studying over 25,000 people who failed to build wealth, Napoleon Hill discovered that lack of decision was near the top of the list of reasons for failure. But every single millionaire he studied had one common trait. They made decisions quickly and changed them slowly. Henry Ford's engineers told him the V8 engine was impossible. The technology didn't exist. Ford called a meeting and made a decision that changed automotive history forever. He looked at his engineers and said, "I want a V8 engine, and I want it now. I don't care if it's impossible. Find a way to make it possible." His engineers protested, "But Mr. Ford, we've told you it's impossible." Ford's response was legendary. "Stay on the job until you succeed, no matter how much time is required." For an entire year, his engineers struggled. They came back repeatedly saying it couldn't be done. Ford never wavered from his decision. Finally, they achieved what everyone said was impossible. The V8 engine was born and revolutionized the automobile industry. Here's what separates successful people from failures. When faced with a decision, average people ask, "What if it doesn't work?" Successful people ask, "How can I make this work?" That's the difference between decision and indecision. To making great decisions, you don't need perfect information. You need sufficient information plus the courage to act. Waiting for perfect conditions is just an excuse for procrastination. First, gather the essential information you need. Not all the information, just the essential facts. Second, set a deadline for your decision. Third, consider the consequences of action versus inaction. Fourth, make your decision and immediately take the first step toward implementing it. But here's the crucial part. Once you make a decision, keep your mouth shut. Don't ask everyone for their opinion. Don't let other people's fears contaminate your decision. Share your plans only with your mastermind group, people who are in complete harmony with your purpose and want to see you succeed. Everyone else's opinion is irrelevant. The value of a decision is measured by the courage required to make it. Easy decisions create small results. Difficult decisions create life-changing results. Make that one important decision you've been postponing. Stop analyzing. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Decide now, act immediately, and watch how that single decision transforms your life. These first 7 steps are your foundation for wealth, but we're only halfway there. In part 2, we'll uncover the remaining 6 steps, including the mysterious mastermind principle, the power of your subconscious mind, and the secret that Napoleon Hill mentioned over 100 times but never directly revealed. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, because part 2 drops next week with the complete formula that's created more millionaires than any other system in history.